What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Well, tomorrow is the day the Superb combo is going to be available at noon. I had a comment on one of my videos about this cabinet saying, hey, would this be a good cabinet to go ahead and mod? What do you think? Well, I've got a few thoughts. Is this going to be worth the purchase? We don't know how much it is, but let's dig into it. So I think it's probably a good idea to take a look at the generations of these cabinets to sort of point out some of the differences and the things that are going to lend itself well to modding. We'll scroll all the way down to that very first generation, the Street Fighter II cabinet, and this is the one I've featured a lot on my channel. Pick this one up used, secondhand, and that's where we're going to start. You may be able to find these secondhand or used at a good price because they're the first generation. But some of the main differences are going to be obviously the speakers. You're going to have a mono speaker, and so what that means is anytime you do some kind of a control panel upgrade or mod, you're going to have to incorporate those speakers within that control panel. And of course, there are a ton of options as far as monitor upgrades, lit marquee upgrades for these first generation cabinets. So something to consider when you're looking at that first gen. Now moving on to the second generation cabinet, which is what you're going to receive as part of this Superb combo. You're going to get the same mono speaker, but a little bit better controls and a little bit better monitor. So if you're going to swap those out during your mod, it doesn't really matter. The third generation is really where it's at for me. This started with the Marvel Superheroes cabinet. You had the dual speaker setup, and if you sort of look at that control panel, or not the control panel, but the monitor, you see that that's laid back, and that sort of allows you to have that dual speaker setup up above the way it was intended. And when you have that, you can go ahead and make your control panel modifications without having to worry about speakers, or maybe relocating the speakers somewhere else within the cabinet is another option. But and having those speakers in the cabinet allows you to modify the control panel and just have the controls, not have to worry about anything else. And unfortunately, that takes us to the legacy cabinets. The two in particular, the Midway and the Capcom. My issues with these cabinets are well documented. I've got several videos talking about this, some of the issues there, so you can review those and sort of make your own judgment call there. They do have 12 games, so I know there's some issues, but if you're looking to not add games but just make some slight modifications, maybe just the controls, maybe the lit marquee, whatever, a lot of that is already baked in the cake with this cabinet. So now if that control panel doesn't bother you but you just want to maybe add games, change up the artwork, this has got a great monitor in it, so I don't think that you would really need to upgrade that except maybe going with a larger size. Let's not count out the Countercades. They're there if you've really tight on space. This is kind of a great option. Going through a lot of the details in some of my builds as far as what's possible with these. I've got another one coming up shortly. I'm really excited about, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But my number one pick right now, if you want to buy a cabinet to mod, is really the X-Men versus Street Fighter cab. I think this is a great cabinet. You can pick these up right now at Walmart for $350. It includes a riser. You're not going to get the stool that you're going to get with the Superb cabinet, but it's worth noting that if you also check out this control panel, it's just bland enough to where you could use it with almost any mod. It's not game specific. It doesn't even say Capcom on the control panel. It's just that sort of generic diamond plate look. So you could just reuse this with your mod and maybe just focus on side panels and marquee and save a little bit of money there. So at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to what modifications do you want to perform on a cabinet. If you don't mind relocating the speakers to somewhere else in the cabinet, and that way you can free up your space on your control panel to do whatever, to swap out controls, change that up with a different button layout, this is not a bad option. The screen is pretty good. It's better than those first generation cabs. Lit marquees are available. Obviously side art is available because this is kind of dull when compared to the legacy cabinets, but it's going to come down to price. Now, if this thing is $350, you're getting a stool. If you like the games, you're going to rock with those games for a while. Maybe this is the way to go. But I think for the money, unless this thing, if this thing is $399, which is kind of where I think it's headed, maybe it's not going to be worth it. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. You have a blessed day, and I will see you next time.